Good evening. Top of the hour. A little after the top of the hour, but I had to get everything all set up. But good evening, you all. Good evening. I should be out here live with all of you tonight. I think Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm here to talk about something. Today, November 9th, 2024. November 9th, 2024. I'm making sure that we're live and that it's public so it can go out to everyone who can see. Not private, not private. I'm out here. I don't usually get on this late, do I? You all know I'm usually winding down by this time of the night, but today, hold on. All right, there we go. I had to make sure the screen was all the way clear. Today is a very special day, guys. Very life-changing day. Hold on. Somebody's calling. Video, I'll call you back. All right. Very life-changing. Extremely life-changing. Let's see. Okay. Because I want to be able to communicate with you all at the same time, like communicate with you in real time, in real time. So I wanted to make sure that everything was set up. But this is DF Russell checking in with you guys tonight on November 9th, 2024. Now, somebody who I engage with on a regular in conversation on a regular asked me what today was. And I think it's so funny. Most people don't pay attention to dates, but I do. Today is the 2 year. Somebody told me it's not an anniversary. What is an anniversary, though? Like, what's the definition of an anniversary? Is it a celebration? I guess it's celebrate. Depends on what you're celebrating, right? Well, today marks 2 years since I was officially dismissed, terminated from my position as school principal 2 years ago. Y'all know, anytime anybody ever hears me go live when I do the business opportunity presentation, I always mention the date, November 9th, 2022. And I think sometimes people just throw dates out there or time frames out there, timelines out there, but they don't really pay attention to when it comes back around. Like, I remember dates specifically, especially dates that are life changing or life altering. And some of the most life altering dates that I've experienced so far was September 7th of 21, which is the day that my mom passed, but November 9th of 2022 was the day that I was terminated. Why are these dates so memorable for me? Obviously, the date that my mom passed is very memorable. But I tell people all the time, my mom's passing, hey Tiara, my mom's passing was not as much of a gut punch as November 9th was. Why? Because September 7th, 2021, God had been preparing me for my mom's death. And I always say this to people now. Hey, Nicola, I always say this. Nobody will ever understand losing your mother until you lose your mother, right? Most times people don't really get it until things happen to them. Um, it's the same thing when you get terminated from a position, especially wrongfully terminated from a position. And so that's what happened 2 years ago on this day, November 9th of 2022. Y'all, that's 2 years ago exactly that life changed for me. And the thing is, when we talk about life changing, sometimes people always think that go bad, like they become worse. That wasn't the case for me. Nicola, tell me why you say man with so many ends. Tell me about that. Tell me about that. Um, some people, and I say this all the time too, you got to be a strong person Oh, did you? You had who said they had the same experience? Is that you, Nicola? And there are so many people out there. Nicola, remember when Mr. White gave me his or allowed me to share on his platform at the celebration event at convention? Were you in there? I don't know if you were in there, but he allowed me to share my testimony. And I got up on the stage and I shared my testimony. And that was the first time I had shed tears about it since it happened. You know, other than like if I was like arguing about it with somebody and trying to explain, you know, something like that, why it was so gut punching, right? And so he allowed me to share my testimony. You know how many people came up to me afterwards? It was almost like those of you who like are in church, you know how after the preacher preaches or the guest speaker speaks, people are lined up wanting to talk to them. And usually it's because they tell them that their testimony really touched them or resonated with them or they had the same experience. That's what happened to me that day. And my team was in the room and they witnessed it. They witnessed how many people wanted to just talk. And some of the people who were coming up to me were in tears because they said, I'm going through the same situation on my job now. And yes, they were educators too. And then other people said the same thing happened to me, y'all. So although September 7th, 21, it was a life-changing day for me because my mom passed. That was a tough life change, right? But I was being prepared for it. I knew it was coming. My mother was in hospice, so I knew it was coming. And she was in home hospice. Like we prepared ourselves to say goodbye to my mother. That was probably one of the hardest things I had ever dealt with in my life up until that point. Like the months, the years leading up to that, where she was really sick and just so many times I had to leave home in the middle of the night to just go over and check on her. When I got there, sometimes seeing blood everywhere, seeing man, it was just a lot, but I wouldn't change anything about it. Like in terms of, I mean, I wish she wasn't sick, but what I'm saying is I'm just glad that I was the best daughter that I could be, that I knew how to be on that day. Now, that was September 7th. But today is the 2-year mark of when I was let go. That was life-changing too, but in a different way. I said, when it happened, I said, you know, I didn't think anything would be harder than me losing my mother until I lost my job. And the only reason is because I didn't see it coming. With mama, I knew it was coming. But with my job, I did not see it coming. And you know, when you're somebody like me, if I can see the writing on the wall, I'm gonna go ahead and make my pivot. You know, I'm a pivot. Before you get me, I'm gonna get you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna be caught off guard if I can help it. Well, y'all, I felt like, yeah, Nicola, it was hurtful because I'm gonna tell you what was more hurtful. It wasn't the termination that was hurtful. Hey, y'all. Hey, Miss B. Miss B is on here. She was one of my staff. She knows. And Miss Grace was one of the parents at the school. It wasn't the hurt of the termination. And one of my old colleagues, one of my old employees, Mr. Gaynor, said, Russell, you talked up your termination, or you were ready to go. You know, you had just said you were getting tired in that role and it just wasn't fun anymore. You know, it was more of a fight every day than any, not fighting with kids, because I ain't play that, but just the fight, the political fight, you know, in that position. So you talked it up. So that's probably why you were okay. That was one reason, right? But that wasn't the hurtful part. The hurtful part was when the people that you thought were in your corner weren't. When you watch how people can easily shift because people love to hear gossip, even if they know it's not you, if it's something to talk about, they love it. They love it. And the thing is, y'all, I as the leader, oh, this is why I love leadership so much. I'm gonna talk about my retail therapy today too. Um, Everybody wants to be a leader, but can't stand the storm at all. at all. Don't know what to do. Don't know how to act. Their emotional intelligence is whack. It's jacked up. And for me, I had to learn quickly, like when you say you're the leader, and I learned this a long time ago. When you're the leader, you're the one who's going to be shot at first. So why is it that when we get shot at, why do we act so shocked? You the leader. It's just like in the army, in the gang, whatever it is. If you're leading, you're out front. And so when the enemy is on the other side, they're shooting, they should hit you first. Am I talking about it, Tiffany? Am I talking right? Hey, Tiffany Nicole Moore. But if you're leading from the back, like people like to do, they hide behind the title. Everybody else gonna get shot before you because you leading from the back. Now you ain't really leading. You false flag and you fronting, right? But I was that out front leader. So sometimes my mouth got me in trouble because I'm going to speak my mind. And that's what strong leaders do. Weak leaders, you going to play the game. You going to, yes, sir. Yes, sir, ma'am. That's what I want to say. Yes, sir. And I wasn't the yes, sir chick, right? And so anyway, y'all, I remember 2 years ago today, like it was yesterday. Like I remember everything about what happened that day. And I just appreciate, I see y'all on Facebook. I appreciate the all of you, all of the people who reach out to me just randomly. I appreciate all of the messages, all of the texts, parents who reach out and just, say things like things aren't the same or things haven't been the same. And, yeah, I know what that means and I appreciate that. But do you know how many people would have, shoot, I'm gonna go as far as to say how many people would have died going through something like that? Like how many people again stand in the leadership role but don't really stand in it, don't really stand on it. You know what I mean? I kind of laugh. I laugh sometimes at people who claim to be leaders. I just laugh like, how? Like you're afraid to speak up. You're afraid to be honest. You're afraid to be transparent. You're afraid to stand even if you standing by yourself. And you can't. Y'all, the day I got let go 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, this is what's so funny. 2 years ago on this date, at this time, I was on Zoom. I was on live. Golly, I remember dates like Miss B. You remember that? Remember, I put a post out and I said to all of my Caritas families, meet me on Zoom. Meet me on Zoom at 8 o'clock. I think it was 8 o'clock because I want to make sure everybody was off work, got your kids ready for bed or whatever, right? This time, exactly this time, it's 8:19 now. This time 2 years ago, I was on Zoom and I said, I just want my families to hear from me. And this is the thing, boy. I remember not mentioning anybody's names. They all knew that I was the principal of Hope Christian Schools Caritas. They all knew what I stood for. And I just wanted my families, my staff, my students to know the same Miss Russell that you met when you enrolled your child is the same Miss Russell I am today. Don't allow the lies and the rumors and the nasty talk, whatever it was, don't allow that to dissuade you from who you knew I was. That's still who I am. And I just appreciate the people who stood firm on who they knew Miss Russell to be, right? And the thing is, not devastated at all, but in awe. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Miss B said you weren't devastated at all, but in awe that they would lie. Yeah, but again, that's what leadership is. Now those of you out there who are like me and you a church person, you save, you've been in church all your life, you know the Lord, you have a relationship with him, you know him, he knows you. We hear it all the time. Like the song by one of my favorite artists, the words are, I've been lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated. I've been used, scorned, talked about, sure as you're born. I've been up, down, almost to the ground, but long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. Y'all, when I tell you I think that had to be one of the truest songs or set of lyrics that I could have stood on at that time. And when, as a leader, if you don't know that that's going to happen to you, come on, who put Vicky Winans in there? Who knew? That's right, Miss B. If you don't know that you're going to be lied on, if you don't know that you're going to be dismissed eventually, that's why, when we say we pray for those in leadership, please pray for them for real. Not just for while they're in the position, but pray for them that they can withstand whatever storm is going to hit them, because it's not a walk in the park. Literally, it's like a walk in the jungle, for real. And tonight, let me share something with y'all. So I went to my beautician's soft opening today for her new location. Shout out Sherry Sherrill. And on my way back, I had a couple gift cards for Barnes & Noble I hadn't used. And I didn't really know exactly what I was going in for, but I was that kid that loved the library and loved reading. And I love books. I don't really like reading stuff online. I like reading. I like the book. And so my favorite author, John Maxwell, y'all, that when some people might get tired of me talking about John Maxwell, I don't care. You're not a real leader then. If you get tired of hearing somebody talk about leadership, you're not a leader. Okay. You a wannabe. I don't know. But anyway, I went in and I went up to the business section because I was looking for the book Go for No for Network Marketing, which I need to be reading right now. But I'm like, we were moving, and so all my boxes were packed up. But anyway, I went and I saw 3 more John Maxwell books that I had to get. And this one, y'all, I asked myself why, and I know the answer, but I'm gonna put it out here for you all. If you're a leader, but you're no longer in a leadership role, how much do you really still hone your craft? A lot of people don't. See, a lot of people only study the things that they're in while they're in it. Like as soon as you become a leader, now I'll go get leadership books and I'm gonna read them. But when I'm not in that role anymore, then I stop. Then you're not really a leader. It like whatever your specialty is, whatever your craft is, you have to hone your skills. That means as much as you can study or practice, whatever it might be, that's how you get better. And just because I think one of my hashtags on my post was, I didn't make the principal position, didn't make me, I made the position. I've said that for years. Somebody else may have said it too. I don't know, but I didn't. I mean, the position didn't make me. I knew who I was before I became a principal. I've been a leader. And so even after the principal role, I say that all the time. I was who I was before that role, and I'm going to be who I am after that role, right? But I can't remember how new this one is, but it's John Maxwell's High Road Leadership. First of all, just look at the cover. This man's covers do it for me. If you're in business with me, you know he's going to be our speaker at convention next year. You need to be in the room. If you're a leader, you need to have your convention ticket for next year. Okay, he's going to be there. But High Road Leadership. And then look at the subtitle, Bringing People Together in a World That Divides. It's a really nice cover, right, Lisa? Every book John Maxwell writes, especially his hardcover books, are beautiful, beautiful. Who said they need this one? Get it, Lisa. High Road Leadership. See, and this is what got me here, bringing people together in a world that divides. Let me talk about that for a minute. Real leaders do separate themselves from the crowd. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. I saw a post not too long ago saying leaders bring people together. They don't cause division. And that's very true. I couldn't agree more. But I think sometimes separation is confused with division, right? Sometimes you have to, I think they say it in our business. I hope I say it right. Yeah. Your elevation requires your separation. And sometimes you can't go up until you are separated from chaos or false stuff, just, whatever. The thing is, and we as leaders, we try to stay so connected all the time because that's one of the traits of a leader, like being a team player, being there for the team. But sometimes you can't play in the same playground. You just can't. And at a certain time, the leader is going to elevate. And sometimes the elevation is not always up. Sometimes it's up and over. Listen, I haven't even cracked the book open yet, but I can tell just from how this is. Wait, I gotta do it this way. It's almost like two roads either coming together or separating. I already know that's what this is going to talk about, but I can't wait to get to the part where he's talking about the high road leadership, because you got to know the difference. Man, I'm excited about that one. Hey, Harold. Hey, David. Closet to regroup. We give allows. That's right, Miss B. Now, this is the other one I picked up. Y'all know John Maxwell is good for giving you some steps. The 21 indispensable qualities of a leader is one of them. The 17 irrefutable laws of leadership. He has a bunch of books. Here's this one. The 16 undeniable laws of communication. Let me explain something to you too. Just because you talk a lot, like me, does not mean you're a good communicator. Okay? And communication is not just talking. It's how you write. It's how you type. It's how you email. It's how you text. All of that. But this one is the 16 undeniable laws of communication. Apply them and make the most of your message. Your message. What are you trying to portray to people? I'm going to tell you one reason I got let go. Because when my boss tried to call me out on some stuff, I had all my receipts. And when somebody wants to come after me, I put some words together in a text, in an email that I have your wig split. Like I just putting it all together, time stamping and all of that, right? And I put together a 12 paragraph email in response to something my boss said. And I said, no, ma'am. You asked why this person was hired, not having been cleared. Check with your HR department. They have a revolving door, so someone may have missed it. But see, I'm calling them out. And sometimes people don't like that. So sometimes when you get that confident in your leadership, you got to be prepared. If you're not willing to say yes, sir, to everything, there's a chance you're going to get let go. And that's what happened to me. Okay. Anyway, here's the third one that I got tonight. Malia said, need that. Wait, let me talk about this. David said, I have one of his books. David, are you a leader? If you're a leader, I need you to go pick up like 20 of them before the year is out. This man is cold. When I tell you, you're going to see me in a picture with that man. I'm going to have an opportunity to sit down with John Maxwell and pick his brain real good. You just watch. I'm speaking it. John Maxwell, you out there? I might have to tag you. Let me see. David said he has one. Go get some more, David. Miss B, you have 3. Go get some more. Listen, I probably got about 30 of his books, 30, and every last one of them, y'all. I don't know what my next position may be. My plan is in a university setting, but wherever I can speak to adults who want to be leaders or in a leadership role and who want to be the best leader they can be, that's where I'm going to go. And God knows, so he's going to place me where I need to be. Hey, Derek. All right, and here's the last one. I already have this one. Leader Shift. The 11, I told y'all he's big on numbers, right? The 11 essential changes every leader must embrace. The 11 essential changes every leader must embrace. I didn't even buy this one for me. Let me show y'all. Lisa, you better go get some more. Look at this. I've already wrote the message in there tonight. And look who is to my bishop, Bishop Charles Henry McClellan. You know why? Because I had this book with me one day in a meeting. This is one of my contractual positions. And I was in a meeting and I was talking about this book. And Bishop McClellan calls me the John Maxwell of the Church of God in Christ. I respect that greatly. And I don't take that lightly to hear that from Bishop McClellan, right? Good, Lisa. And so when he saw this, he asked me about it. He said, "Oh, I need this." I said, "I got you, Bishop." And so today it was one left on the shelf and I got it for him. But leaders shift. You got to know that there will be a shifting in leadership, whether it's in your building. Every building I took over, there was a shift that had to happen. I came in maybe mid-year, assessed the situation, gave people an opportunity to correct themselves. And if it wasn't for them, they had to go. So when you're in leadership and you're letting people go, you got to be prepared for you to get let go sometimes too. And I'm just here to kind of help the people out. The reason I didn't go on TikTok, I'm going to make a TikTok talking about how to stand through the trial, like in the steps that have to be taken after that. Because I guarantee you, if somebody walked into work Monday and they lost their job, they wouldn't know what to do next. They wouldn't. I was more shocked because I had never been let go before. And you try to get let go at 44, at age 44, and you've never been let go. Y'all, that could have been devastating, but you got to know who you are. Tonight at the event I went to, somebody came up to me and her name escapes me, but she said, "Hey girl," and we said hey and hug like we do. But I said, "Oh man, I need to ask her name," because I couldn't remember it. But she came back to me a few minutes later and she said, "I just want to tell you, thank you for being an inspiration from afar." You don't know who's watching you, but what I do know is people are watching and people are listening. And that's something else, y'all. When something happens, the people were waiting, especially the people who work closest with me. The ones who work closest, they were watching, waiting to see what she gonna do instead of calling and praying and just, but I said, I'm a whole leader. What do y'all think I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna go hide under a rock, especially when you know that you're right. People aren't gonna like you when you're right. What you say? People, they right there. People not gonna like you when you right. They like you when you just quiet and just go along with the games. But I'm not gonna go along with the games, and I didn't. So I wanted to just get on. I told that same person, I said, "Get on my live tonight." And I don't know if she's on here right now, but she's going to see it later, I'm sure. And I said, because I'm going to talk about something. And this is, I don't want to say celebration, but when I say anniversary, I know a lot of times people think entrepreneurs are struggling and entrepreneurs are broke and entrepreneurs are sad and entrepreneurs are lost. And they just so sad because they think that if you're not connected to a job that pays you twice a month or every other week, that you lost. No, you really lost because as soon as they stop paying you, you're gonna be rushing trying to find something else. And I'm so grateful. And I say this a lot. And I'm glad I told my mom this a lot before she died. I'm glad I tell my dad this on the regular, that I'm glad. What's up, Percy? I'm glad that my parents, who were not college educated, might I add, but very wise. And I think they did a phenomenal job raising me and my brother. I do. That's my thoughts. But I feel that way because when things do happen, we do know how to bounce back, and over 2 years, I think when I got let go, I might have had maybe 100 people on my team. I have almost 300 people on my team now. just a lot of things have occurred. Not all bad, not all great. A lot of great things, a lot of tough things, but at I don't think there's a day that passes that I'm not in reflective mode. And you got to kind of know, what you want to do next, and not let a job dictate what you do next, but your skill should dictate what you do next, right? The skills that you have, not the job, but the skills. I recognize, y'all know, some of you know, I used to be a speaker before I went back into the principal role, and that's all I did. I'd go around and I'd speak at different events, different graduations. And I said, I got to get back to that point, because there are so many people who need to hear real stories, not fake ones, not scripted ones, but just like John Maxwell has the 11 essential changes every leader must embrace, the 16 undeniable laws of communication, the 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, the 17 irrefutable laws of leadership, all of that. I gotta go ahead and get back to the place of what needs to be shared as a leader, because too many leaders out here just lost. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know which way to go, how to get there, how to stand. Every time the wind blows, they somewhere in the corner crying, ready to give up. But you swear you a leader because you telling somebody what to do. You better learn yourself. You got to learn, go hone your craft. Go get you some books and read. Who said, man? Let me see who that is. It comes through on my StreamYard first. And then, oh, that's Miss B. Miss B saying, man, I kind of want some of y'all in the studio with me. Lisa Heron, I feel like you need to be in the studio with me talking about this on here. Nicola, it seems like you need to be in here. Percy, you a whole leader out here. Maybe you need to be in here in the studio. Yeah, if you can, let me know. I'll send you the link so you can join, because sometimes people need to hear it from other people. And if we don't do it today, I could do it on another day. I usually do these where I'm streaming on all social media platforms except for TikTok. Usually during the day, and some of you all are at work, but entrepreneurs are at work at home, and that's part of our day. So, but I just want to get on here 2 years later and let y'all know I'm all good. It's okay. And you got to be okay when things like this happen, because nobody ever prepares for it. You don't prepare to get let go, right? You don't prepare for that. But also, what I do know, I knew what I didn't want to do again, and what I didn't want to do is keep going into places where I would give more than my all, only to take it. Like, I believe every school that I've been over, especially the one in Chicago and then the Christian school when I got back here, I remember them being in a very, very bad place. And they needed a strong leader to take them to their next level. And that was me. That was me. Some people don't know how to acknowledge. When people interview you and they say, talk about yourself. Some people don't know what to say. They don't know how to talk about their own strengths. They don't know how to talk about their own weaknesses. I know I'm a turnaround leader. I can take any school and turn it around. I know I've done it. I've done it. But I said it had come to a point where I didn't feel like that's what I wanted to do anymore. I didn't know if I had the energy to want to keep fighting. Sometimes that's not fun anymore. I like leading, but I don't know if I'm still interested in turning it around. Of course, everybody keeps asking, like, when are you going to start your own school? And when I can find 20 solid teachers who truly understand leadership, because leadership is not in the office. Leadership starts in the classroom. And there are so many people who don't know that. Every time I hear the stories from my husband coming home talking about it, from my brother coming home talking about it, I say there's nothing new. That's not new, y'all. Y'all might be just seeing it. That ain't new. That this stuff keeps on happening. Keeps on happening. And I'm just like, I don't know that I'm interested in going back into a place where the same things happen. And then when they get somebody like me and Joe Clark in there, that's right, me and Joe Clark in there to turn it around, then we the crazy ones. We too much. Everybody can't take this type of leadership.
Come on, get back in there and turn around.
Not interested.
Show me something.
I showed you already. My husband said, "Get back in there and show me something." MPS don't know where MPS is going. So sorry y'all if y'all in MPS. Sorry, my husband started talking about MPS. I wasn't gonna talk about any school district at all. Somebody said, "You've always said you were the female Joe Clark. When I met you, that's what was said." That's it. Yep, Miss B. That's it. Miss B said, "I used to be that way. People saw me." Oh, look at Miss Ava. My trauma experiences hit me. I'm up front now. That's right. Miss Ava Morris. Miss Ava Morris knows what I'm talking about. Hey, Ren. Miss Ava knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 2 years ago when that was my last day as a principal. Yeah, people have asked me, "Hey, nope. Not interested. I'm just not interested in that anymore. Not in the principal role. The people I see in principal roles walking out of there looking sleepy, looking tired.
We need an 8th grade teacher.
For what? Yeah, I ain't putting no kids out. Let me tell you the difference about me too. My brother said this. My brother said, "No, you don't need to come over there because you like putting kids out. And this organization, they ain't putting kids out." I said, "You right. You right." Now, some people may be very defensive of that statement. "No, don't put kids out." Well, you play with them. But I wasn't going to play with them. Some schools play with children. They play with them. They play. Y'all play with them. Y'all can't put them out. The system won't let y'all.
Exactly.
So they just put,
yeah,
there they go. These are the defensive people who work in school systems where they can't make change. You can't make change. You can't make change. And that's the thing. Why would you go into something where you can't make change? You have to settle. And it's okay. My brother said it to me once. My brother was like, "Yeah, I'm at that age where I'm going to just play the game." Right. I'm not at that age. I'm at the age where I'm not going to play the game anymore. Right, Miss Ava? It's certain things we just not going to do anymore. The thing is this, the people who become so defensive, though, in 10 more years, they're going to be exactly where I am. 20 more years, they're going to be exactly where I am, where it's not going to be fun anymore. See, for me, y'all, it wasn't just a job. It literally was a mission. It was a mission. And if you don't get mad about some of this stuff, then you just going through the motions. And I wasn't that person who was going to go through the motions. I know that's why I got let go, because I didn't let my bosses just say anything. And I just sit in the room, just, some people do that. And I'm not knocking the people who do it, but I'm not that person. I used to be, because I was excited to be in the role. I just went along with, okay. But then I got to a point where, and I remember Sharon Traylor, I don't know where she is. Lord knows I wish I could see her. I remember when I first became principal in St. Louis, she said, "Honey, I'm 55 years old. I say what I want to say." And she was talking about to the people who were above her. She said, "I'm 55 years old. I'm going to say what I want to say." And she earned that right. And I never forgot that. Well, I ain't quite 55 yet, and I pray to God that I live to see beyond that. But that's the attitude I have. Now I'm 46 years old. I say what I want to say. In the boardroom, in the conference room, on the calls with parents. I used to tell those parents, "Y'all coming in here, you looking as silly as your children." And that's why they do it. But by the time they left out, they had nothing but respect for me. You know why? Because I didn't play with them. I wasn't friends with them. I wasn't dating them. I wasn't messing with them. It was none of that. So there were no gray line. There was no gray area. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. And all I'm saying is that if everybody in leadership would stand up and be real leaders, not just position holders, but leaders, I promise you're going to see a change wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're at a school or at a church or at a daycare or at Goodyear Tires. I don't care where you are. At Walmart, if people walked around and learned how to check kids, these McDonald's would be better. Raising Cane's on 124th and Capitol would be better if they had leadership in there. But there are so many people trying to run stuff and you don't know what you're doing. So you should get out of the leadership position if you don't know what you do. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all see how I can talk about this? I will have a TED talk before I leave this world, y'all. I got to be on that black stage. The black. I got to be on that stage where I can say what I need to say unapologetically. Because I'm not going to apologize for what I say. I'm not going to apologize for how I feel and what I've witnessed and what I've observed and how I've done it. I didn't turn schools around. I got receipts to prove it. My school report cards proved what I did. I don't have to go back in now. I've done that. And as soon as people are ready to debate on it, let's just look at the scores. Let's just look at the scores. And I think that's why my boss got mad. She gone too, though. She got let go at the end of that year. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, y'all. Well, I just wanted to get on here because now I'm talking to y'all like we all in the room together. I want y'all to talk back, and I see y'all in the chat here. But next time we're going to get in the studio and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be called Let's Talk About It. When you see me put that out there, that means you get on to ask me for the link so then you can be on this platform along with me and we can chat this up, okay? Because it can be a very touchy subject, but I love it. I love debating on leadership because I know what I'm talking about. All right? Okay, y'all, let me see. Ms. B said, all right now, Lisa, I totally understand it. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Malia said something. Malia said, and no backbone and hates confrontation. I see it at my girls' school, a Christian school. I feel you, Malia. So, let me just say this real quick. Then I'm for real, I'm going to let y'all go. You said a Christian school. When I got out of the principal role the first time and I just went to do some consulting, I wasn't going back in the principal role then. But then when this Christian school opportunity came up, I said, ooh, I can do what I love and be who I am as a Christian. I said, oh, count me in. And I got in there. And I used to tell my staff and my students right off the top at the beginning of the year, this won't be another one of those Christian schools that just has Christian on the name. You ever notice how the Christian schools be the worst? Y'all ain't nobody following Jesus up in there. Nobody. Everybody's hollering Jesus, but you ain't walking in them. When we used to have chapel service, somebody used to ask me, can I play the music? Nope, because that sounds too much like rap. They got that at home. They got that in the car. This is chapel. I want them walking out of here with their hearts softened. I want them walking out crying like they've been at church or encouraged like they ready to go conquer the world. I don't want them bout it, period. I don't want all of that in chapel. And that's where Christian schools fail because you try to compromise and do what everybody else is doing. And then you end up looking like everybody else. You don't get good results that way. You got to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And I know if you in your 40s, I know you've heard that phrase many times. Either you stand for something or you fall for anything. That was me. I was going to stand on what I meant. Okay. So now I'm standing on business as a businesswoman. I'm still an educator. And as soon as I find out what I really want to do that will allow me to help change the trajectory of adults going into education, urban education, then that's where God will place me. I'm certain. But in the meantime, I will keep running my Planet Marketing and my travel business. And if y'all are interested in learning how to keep standing when that plan A gets funny, you need to have that plan B right there waiting. That's what happened with me. Ms. B, thank you for that. Wait, Ms. B. Ms. B said, God left when you left. She said, God left when you left that school. That's what got me fired. Yep, Ms. B got fired after me. Guess what? For standing up and saying we not being the Christian school that we say we are. When you speak up for what's right, sometimes you get let go, and it's all right, y'all. 2 years, and we still standing. All right, y'all be blessed. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll check in with y'all later. See ya. Miss Dorothy, I see you out there. I'll talk to you in the morning.